What is up, everybody? Welcome back to A Certain Point of View here on a Sunday as we are live for our main show, 6 o'clock Sunday nights right here on Certain Point of View. And as you can see, it is just the three of us tonight. Molly is off for the evening. She is off with some friends, hanging out, doing a Memorial Day barbecue, hanging out, stuff like that. So she will not be here. But the three of us are holding down the fort, and we got a really cool show planned. Very, very excited for the show we have tonight. We have two amazing guests who have been in the space for a very long time, but have made their stamp in their kind of footprint over the last year or so, more so than ever. And that is Andres Cabrera, who will be joining us here in just a short bit. And then Jeannine the Machine will be stopping by as well in about 40 minutes or so. So that'll be very exciting. We're obviously going to talk about Friday's pay-per-view. We will talk about the Danger Zone and Corruption match. That'll probably be saved for towards the end of the show because we will be talking about the Otter couple versus Shazam from Friday's pay-per-view with Jeannine herself. So we'll get her thoughts on that as well. And then, yeah, guys, how you guys doing? Is everyone good? Jill, you recovered from happy hour last night? Everything good?
I'm alive. So got that going for me.
Okay.
I was actually fine this morning. I was fine this morning. I did not put makeup on my face today because it went through too much nonsense last night. If you guys missed it, oh boy, what was it? Was it a crazy one?
You know what's funny is I don't even like. It wasn't the craziest as far as like what was said in the drinking aspect. It was crazy just strictly because of makeup.
100%. 100%. I turned Sean into Jack Sparrow. Alex was snatched. His makeup was snatched. It was gorgeous. He was very pleased with it because he immediately streamed right afterward in all of his beautiful glory, and it was
with scares on, amazing, which was amazing.
With scares on, which was just great. It was a wonderful Saturday.
Wild.
Brian, how about you, man? Your mom came into town, huh?
Yeah, but I'm currently not trying to melt right now because it's like
it's going to be hotter tomorrow.
I know. It's over 100 here in Sacramento.
It's supposed to be 108 tomorrow, everybody. 108.
So, yeah, which Ace is probably sitting there going, "Cool, that's cute." But yeah, no, that's my number one goal right now, not to melt.
That's fair.
So,
that is very fair.
And my sides have recovered from laughing so much last night at all the festivities that was happy hour.
It was a good time. If you guys did not check it out, go check it out. If you're more of an audio listener, I know there's a lot of people who listen to us strictly on audio. It is available on podcast form already. You guys can download that, check that out. And we'll make sure to update you on the next happy hour, which will be in just a few weeks. But let's get into this because there's a lot of Schmoedown to cover. And we're going to be starting it off with talking with one of the most prolific Star Wars players currently running, the defending tournament champ himself, who got his first victory this past week up against our own Sean Sullivan. And that is Mr. Andres Cabrera.
Yo, what's up, guys?
How's it going, man? Thank you for joining us and welcome back.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. Yeah, I was it definitely felt funny to be on this, considering you guys were like, "Oh, Sean's gonna kill him," and I'm like, "What? Come on!" But I totally
as if I'm gonna not root for my significant other. Ace.
Yeah.
Come on now.
It's tough. There's a little biased opinion from us, and you know, but we knew that it was a fun match, and we knew that it was something that we were looking forward to. Mm-hmm. And as I think a couple of us have even said, we said, look, we may be picking Sean, but Sean has an incredibly high mountain to climb facing you. Look, you're the defending tournament champ. You faced Alex last year, and you're going into this year. And I had said it last week. You probably had a little bit of a bigger chip on your shoulder just because of everything that's kind of happened over the last couple months, right? With the draft and all this type of stuff, with the faction specifically. Yeah. How does it feel, first of all, just kind of get your first match out of the way? That's all behind you now. You can focus on the next one and kind of just move forward as a player without all the drama behind you.
Good, man. Good. I love competing in the Star Wars division, and obviously getting a match, and specifically a win, was something that I was definitely looking towards. Especially considering, I mean, last season, everyone's always quick to point out, like, well, if you've seen his last match, it's like, okay, everything else got erased because of the way I went out last season, which I get. But I still feel like a lot of people maybe had like a little bit colored goggles when they saw the final score. And didn't realize, like, I think I only missed like 3 questions. But it turned out, because of the betting round, that turned into like 9 points, and then it turned into 10 points when I missed my final question. But it made it seem like I lost, and I missed like 8 questions in a row or something. So I definitely wanted to be like, hey, I'm still decent at Star Wars. So,
I mean, look, I think it's clear. If it wasn't clear before, it's clear now that you are incredible at Star Wars, specifically just Star Wars trivia. And I know knowing Star Wars trivia can be different, but it seems that you know the entire thing just together. I saw the frustration on your face when you missed the steal opportunity, came up at the end of the match as well. So for any haters or doubters out there, stop that, because this guy knows his stuff clearly. So
Stop it. He didn't win a tournament for nothing. Come on now, that's not just, I lucked out and won this, 5-match tournament. I just got lucky. Like, no, not anyone who competes in the Star Wars division or is even adjacent to the Star Wars division. Everyone, like, we all know how insanely crazy y'all study. Like, it's like a second job, pretty much. At least in our household, and from, I'm assuming, is accurate for pretty much everyone in the Star Wars division. It's insanity, So it's like, yeah, you know your ish, my friend, and you continue to prove that. And while yes, you did knock my precious Sean Sullivan out of the tournament, I'm still stoked that you're continuing your little your upset city reign, as I think the fans have lovingly dubbed it.
yeah, I love Sean, and I obviously have talked a few times about what happened in that match. As far as if you have like a couple brain farts, that could mean the end of the match, and I feel like that's kind of what happened, which I totally get. Afterwards, when he told me, he's like, "Yeah, I knew those, and I just was overthinking it," and I was like, "Bro, I totally believe you. I totally get that. It's one of those things where it's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of other competitors." It's a bummer. It really is. So I definitely totally get it.
It happens, It happened. It happens. Welcome to the Schmoedown. It's gonna happen.
Brian, I'll shoot it to you first, man. Did you have a question for Mr. Ace?
Sure. You, sir, we know, are the king of upset city. So what are the chances you can pass some of that upset city vibe to the Suns and take out the Lakers for us?
We have to do it. It's something that I don't think I've ever been so. I don't think I've been this invested in a series in such a long time. I've been a Suns fan my whole life, guys. Like, this is something I think I bring it up in the match that you guys are going to see too quite a few times, because I'm wearing a Suns shirt. And it's one of those things where, like, I saw them when I was a kid, and I saw them live in the arena back in the Steve Nash days, and then I stuck with them from high school all the way through college when they were winning like 17, 18 games a season. So this has been remarkable. This has been insane. Totally like an upset city kind of vibe where we're just rolling. And I really, really, really just want to beat the Lakers so bad. Just because I hate the Lakers and I've hated them forever. So I would love nothing more than a Suns championship. I think that'd be amazing.
Well, he's a Warriors fan. I'm a Kings fan, so Lakers are like on the bottom of our list as far as fandom.
And I don't watch basketball, so sports.
Jill, what's the other LA basketball team in
the
LA?
Clippers?
Excuse me.
Just because I don't watch it doesn't mean I don't know who they are. Jeez, Brian. Ye of little faith.
I won't put that on the little picture graph.
Oh God, there's more of those. Wonderful.
Maybe.
Eventually.
Cool.
But so I mean, coming into the season, we had obviously the draft. Was there like any nervousness seeing how many new Star Wars competitors there were going to be this season, or were you just like straight off like, bring it, like let's go?
Yeah, I don't think I ever felt nervousness in the fact of like, oh no, I'm gonna lose to these guys. I didn't think that. I really did feel like Dragon Con is, a highly competitive, Star Wars trivia competition, but it's so different. And I was kind of talking to Winston about it. Man, I'm really spilling the tea. Look at you guys, just getting me to spill the tea. But I was talking I was talking to Winston about it, and I was like, has the managers even seen Dragon Con trivia? Because it's really different. I don't think everyone they think it's like, like who was the captain of this Star Destroyer? It's not that. They have like, like a picture section. They have like a blaster section where they like say what kind of blaster is this. They tell you the name of the blaster.
There's like a spelling bee portion.
Yeah.
There's like a spelling bee portion. All that kind of stuff that doesn't ever come up in the Schmoedown at all. All those blasters that I know that have never been asked. And it's one of those things where I was like, I don't think this is gonna go the way you think, to quote Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. I just don't. I didn't see it transferring over to the Schmoedown as easily as other people might have thought of. Because it is so different. It isn't just straight up like you hear the question and you have to answer a moment in the movie or a quote in the movie or a character in the movie. It's much more based on like visual dictionary knowledge and having that memory from remembering what you saw. So I wasn't concerned. I was definitely still more concerned about players like Molly or Laura or, Demolanta or Damon. Mm-hmm. Over all the new players, even though the new players are still like, dope, and we've seen them do what they do as far as Burkett and Marie and Harper, but I still felt like I was like, I'm good. I faced Demolanta and Laura Kelly. I think and Damon. I think I've faced some of the best Star Wars players ever.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I never thought about that going into like the season when we were talking about like Dragon Con players were obviously like the highlight of everything going into the season. I never even thought about the fact that only one of these Dragon Con tournaments is actually on camera, and it was because of COVID.
Yeah.
It never crossed my mind that nobody actually even saw the trivia side of it besides just last year.
Yeah.
I think,
and even last year's, I don't think they saw that.
I don't think they even watched it. Yeah.
I don't think they did.
Well, even we watched it because last year was when we first started to really know Molly, and she told us to watch it, and we were like, this is like, first off, it's insanity, like spelling these names that you've heard once in a Star Wars book, and then comparing it to just your plain old like movie trivia, that the extent of it outside of the movies is really like a visual dictionary. So Molly, I think, was the biggest proponent coming into the season, saying like they're great, but like it's gonna probably be an adjustment. So what you say tracks for sure. So yeah.
Yep.
Jill, did you have something?
Yeah. For no particular reason whatsoever. What are your thoughts on Y-Wings?
Ooh, Y-Wings. Yeah. I love Y-Wings. Definitely not as much as the competitor that I'm playing against in my upcoming match. I feel like that's all he tweets about. Is
I think
Y-Wings.
it is.
And all I tweet about is basketball, so there you go. And I swear, I get my 2 likes, and I'm like, yo, I made it. I got 2 likes tweeting about Anthony Edwards for Rookie of the Year. And no one cares at all. That's not what they follow me. But they're fine. They're definitely not my favorite ship, but they're cool.
They're there.
What is your favorite ship?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I'm super partial. Like, I would say all-time favorite ship, I would say the Slave One is definitely my all-time favorite ship. I used to have like a toy Slave One.
Ooh,
me too. Nice.
I think it was the Attack of the Clones one, if I'm being honest.
Just because that's blue.
The blue one, which came out right when the movie was coming out, and I got the little mini ship that actually fired the little plastic torpedoes.
Weren't toys the best like 20 years ago? They were awesome. They were like the best.
Yeah.
Especially Star Wars toys. They were really dope. I used to have a full collection of them. So I definitely partial to the Slave One for sure.
That's fair.
I love
I had a question that's kind of, I guess, behind the scenes a little bit. you're one of the few OG schmoes that is still involved in the actual Schmoedown. There's not very many left, and rightfully so. People move on and they do different things, but you've kind of seen this thing evolve from the very beginning when you, Cobster, and Cody were a team way back in the day until now, and now you're competing in Star Wars. What does it mean to you to see what it's evolved into, and how does it feel to also take part in it and see what Christian and Mark have been able to do over the last 5, 6, 7 years in this whole massive thing that is the Schmoedown?
Yeah, it's wild, right? Because I do remember back when this started. I remember even season 1. Obviously, I wasn't there, but I remember watching it when it was Copster versus JTE. I think that might have been like one of the first matches.
Yeah.
And that was like a for fun kind of match. And obviously, I was there in season 2. And then after they saw my performance there, they were like, "We're good. You're not coming back." But yeah, it is kind of wild considering that Josh. We just had Riley play a match, but even he's been kind of MIA this season.
Yep.
Because he's doing the GPA thing, obviously, with Ken, who's also kind of retired as well. Yeah, I am kind of one. Obviously, my boy RB3, who's also my co-host and co-partner for my show, used to be in the Schmoedown. I don't think he's coming back for a minute, at least. So it has been kind of a remarkable journey to see it become something else. I definitely remember it becoming something else, and that transition kind of taking place, and that being kind of like, where is this going as far as like the channel? Because it became, from Schmoes Know to the Schmoedown Entertainment Network, which became obviously SEN, which became all about the Schmoedown. So it's definitely a crazy transition, because this is kind of what started my I wouldn't say it started it, but it was definitely going hand in hand with when I moved out to LA, like literally 3 months later, I got that internship at Schmoes. So it was going hand in hand with like me getting a production job in LA, and then I met Mark and Christian out of the blue. And I was like, "Hey, I can do this intern stuff. I've done it before." And they're like, "Sure." And I came on. So it's always been hand in hand with like me living out in LA and me kind of doing something for the Schmoes.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I've been a long time watcher of Schmoes, so I've been watching for a long time, and I always like to ask the question for those who've been around for a very long time and been involved, just to kind of get their perspective on everything, especially for someone like you, just because, like you said, you've been around since season 2, and we're in season 8, and it's been a long time coming. So, but yeah. All right, there is a couple questions in the chat I wanted to bring up here. This one is from Brian Nussbaum. Is there a player on the other side of the Star Wars bracket you're looking to competing against if you beat Thomas?
Yeah. It's interesting, right? Because I think I only have 2 choices.
Yeah,
That's true.
You do.
Yeah.
I definitely would love to see Evan. I'm gonna keep calling him Evan. I think that'd be fun. I definitely had a good time in his matches, and I know he's getting a lot of hype as well. I was gonna tweet some mean stuff about it last week when he did his match, but I was like, no, I'm not a heel yet. But I definitely feel like he got some layups in that match for sure, like wide open layups that a lot of people talked about afterwards, and I think they were spot on when they were like, were those like extra easy, or is it just me? No, they were definitely extra easy for sure. But I still feel like he's dope, and I still would love to play Evan for sure.
That'd be an interesting match. You and Gold Leader. Interesting.
Yeah.
I call him Gold Leader just because I might get yelled at if I don't call him Gold Leader. So
sure.
You might get in trouble.
Yeah, I might get in trouble a little bit. Brian, do you got anything else?
Yeah, out of the old good folks that you haven't played, is there anyone that you still are like, I still really want to play the so and so
For Star Wars?
Yes, for Star Wars.
Yeah, there's one elephant in the room that's currently not here that I would love to play. I would love to play Molly. I think Molly would be dope. Just do the whole Damon completion. I think Molly's dope, man. I really do. I really do feel like I'm still kind of low key on the low kind of bummed that she's not an attorney, just because I feel like she would have done so well. She could have maybe even made the final on that side of the bracket. If she was on that side of the bracket. Not saying that, I'm not claiming she would have beaten Burkett or this is going to be turned into a whole thing. But I really do feel like.
Did you hear what Ace said?
Exactly. Yeah. Ace said Molly would have destroyed Evan and Burkett. But I really do feel like she could have gone to the final. And when I was kind of like saying it in my head, I was like, oh, I would love to play Molly Damon in the final of a Star Wars tournament. I think that'd be dope.
Okay, same question for the new class, other than Harper, obviously, because that's who you're gonna play.
Yeah. Okay, so I said Evan. I think Marie would be fun as well. Who else is there? I know Hoey is there.
Zach Burkett, Hoey, Lacey.
You're right.
Nikki DeMolanta.
Nikki DeValanta. I want to see Nikki DeValanta play. She hasn't played yet. I would love to see her play.
She hasn't played yet. We haven't seen her yet.
I bet you she's good too. I guarantee she's going to be good.
There's, I mean, just from helping Sean study, I've learned so much. I can only imagine what the wife of the current Star Wars champion knows by helping him study. Like, I'm sure she knows her nonsense. She's, I wouldn't go in there thinking it's going to be a walk in the park. That's for sure. She's definitely going to be one of those I know so much more than you think I do kind of competitors, and I'm so stoked to see her play.
When the draft was going on, I definitely was talking crap behind the scenes, and I was like, "Yo, watch Nikki DeMolanta like destroy all the Dragon Con competitors,
right?
Single-handedly
all of
destroying every single one of them." And everyone's like, "What happened here?" It's like Nikki DeMolanta happened. That's what happened.
Nikki DeMolanta.
Yeah,
I would like to see you play Scrimshaw personally.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Too.
Yeah, it's a bummer I haven't seen him this year.
Oh yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, I think that would be like, you're both very like on the wise and just enjoying Star Wars for what it is. So like, I would love to see that kind of just go against each other personally.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'm sure we'll see Joseph eventually, maybe this year.
Hopefully,
so.
I mean, we do have that second tournament later on in the year, so maybe he'll pop in there if he's. I know scheduling comes up for a lot of people, which is why we haven't seen him. So
especially Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. And he's one of those guys who's been around for a very long time. I know a lot of people would love to see him play. And after his match last year, right, he could have beaten DeMolanta last year if he didn't have a little bit of a mess up on that overtime question. But I'm sure we'll see him again. Jill, did you have anything else for Mr. Ace?
Yeah. So what was your mindset? What's your mindset going into this next match with Harper? Because he was like the number one drafted Star Wars player. He's being touted as like the Anakin Skywalker, like the chosen one of the Star Wars division. So what's going through your mind going into this next match?
Yeah, no, it's what I wanted, right? I've always wanted to play the best or play what people say are the best, just so I can prove them wrong. And just so I can show you like, hey, this guy's the most undefeated, unstoppable player. And I'm like, all right, let me at him. Let me take him on.
About that. Yeah. Let me stop you right there.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of it too is based off narrative. And I feel like it's kind of a bummer, but I mean, that's just how the Schmoedown works is like one guy gets chosen, he gets super overhyped. He proves himself to be what he's hyped up to be. And then now it's over. Now it's like, bro, no one can stop him now. And it's like, y'all sure? And it's just like, I really do feel like when it comes to the Star Wars tournament, and this will be kind of like my piece on it, is like, it doesn't really matter who you're playing necessarily. And I know this is going to sound weird, but I think what really matters is the questions. And I think we've seen multiple times in a Star Wars match the perfect example is the two former championship matches. One of them was 51-50. The other one was like all over the place, right? Yeah. Misses from both sides. And I feel like that kind of demonstrates like, oh, what happened? Were Andrew and Alex off that day? It's like, no, the questions were just harder. Like I saw the 51-50 match and I went 51-51. And I was like, these were all not hard. And then the next match, I was like, okay, there we go. We have like questions that are actually more challenging. And I feel like people don't necessarily see that. And they just kind of see the final score and the PPE or whatever the hell that is.
Yeah.
Instead of just focusing on like, wait a minute, why did Andrew miss? Why did Alex miss? It's because the questions were more difficult. So I feel like anyone, whether it's Sean or Molly or any Star Wars competitor, can straight up have some knowledge that the other competitor doesn't that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You love sitting in the breaker of like mantle spot, don't you? Like,
oh yeah,
if you could take out like some like, oh, look at this guy, he's untouchable, and then just like crush them. That's the best one, right? I mean,
I love it. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely one of those things where anytime someone is the most like hyped, overpowered machine, the Lakers are going to win the championship, back-to-back champion. I have to bring it back to the Lakers.
That's
Ricky, back-to-back. And I'm like, are you sure about that? But yeah, I totally want to be the one to upset the whole thing.
I'm actually very impressed and surprised that you even volunteered to be on tonight with the closeness and proximity of the Suns game.
Yeah, no, trust me. I knew when it was ending. I was like, I know when it's going to end. Otherwise, I would not be.
It's like, sorry guys, I'm booked tonight. Sorry, can't make it.
Mr. PJ Campbell himself here. I try to write and push
Hi,
the players. It
PJ.
doesn't always work. I think that only goes for Star Wars, PJ. You're okay. You do a great job.
I mean, and this is just for PJ and the writers. It's also kind of almost in a way subjective to them as well as you guys, because I could think that something is like super hard. Like as if I was a question writer, like I'd be like, damn, I'm writing this question. There ain't nobody going to get this. And then all of a sudden, like you or Alex or someone gets it and they're like, oh yeah, it's that one. And it's just oh, well, screw you. Because that was my ace in the hole.
Screw you.
Yeah, it's always interesting, right? Because I always feel like I've done it before with obviously Shandru, Paul, Laura are mainly the three people that I kind of compete against in my faction with Star Wars questions. And then they kind of present to me like, I think Rise of Skywalker, the questions we've gotten previously is a perfect example, right? Where they ask like, what interrogation number was Chewie taken to in the Rise of Skywalker? Like interrogation 6, it's said very, strongly by Richard E. Grant as Allegiant General Pride in that movie. So you feel like, all right, it's a number, but it's very easy to remember because he says it so memorably. And then there's other moments in the movie that are spoken out loud several times through that are kind of intended like for trivia, right? Where it's like, if they say TK421 and then they say TK421, you're like, I'm pretty sure I have to remember TK421. Or 31174, the elevator number. Yeah. That's said like 4 times. That's engraved in
my brain.
Yeah, that's said like
elevator number.
4 times in the movie. So I'm just like, yo, they really want you to be like, yo, remember this damn number. So stuff like that, I feel like is kind of like what is going to be the standard trivia. Everything else, like in the back, like who is this officer? What is that ship? What is that blaster? Might be a little bit more difficult for like, the common person who's coming into the Star Wars division.
Yeah. It's valid.
Have you memorized the "Be With Me" scene word for word and who says what yet?
I memorized that before I was even considering it for the Star Wars division. On my 5th time watching The Rise of Skywalker in the movie theater. I loved it. I love that scene. It's like my favorite scene of like Star Wars.
So good. So good. Yeah. So good.
Legit. I have a T-shirt of that scene, so I love that. So do
I was legit like in tears in that scene, like legit dead ass tears, and I was like, I'm not gonna cry, and then I cried. Qui-Gon's voice and Mace's voice and
I specifically remember turning to Sean, grabbing his arm, and going, "That was Kanan! That was Kanan!" Like, I'm like so overly excited. That scene is perfection. So good.
PJ, we're ignore what we just said. Just
Jill, Brian, if you guys have no other questions for Ace, we'll go ahead and get to our POV question.
POV question. Have we asked
All right.
Ace our POV question?
So
I
no,
think
because
we
Ace
have.
was
No?
Ace was on with just Brian and I last year
Oh,
before Jill and Molly were part of the channel.
Perfect.
And the POV question actually was not a thing. And so what we do here with all our guests is because movies have brought us together, and whether it's Star Wars, geek movies, regular movies, we always ask our guests two simple questions. What is your favorite candy and what is your favorite movie snack?
Ooh, damn.
And they can be the same or separate.
They can be the same, yes. Yeah.
I feel like it's tough with candy, right? Because if there's a question of like, what's my favorite, like all time, like bar none, like MVP, I feel like it's different than one I eat more commonly, right? Because I'm not a little kid anymore and I can't handle all of it. I'm a grown old man. But you know what? I'm gonna go with it. Shout out to my boy Marshawn Lynch. I'm going with Skittles.
Yay!
Skittles is the GOAT. It's still the GOAT.
Skittles is the goat.
Yeah. And movie snack, yeah, why not? I'll probably go with Skittles. I usually do something not too heavy
Skittles.
during a movie, so that'll probably be it. Or that, or what are the other ones called? Sour Patch Kids. Those
Sour
ones.
Patch
Sour
Kids?
Patch Kids.
Yeah.
So,
That-
what about
that's a
sour?
popular
What about
answer.
sour Skittles?
Ooh, I love those. Oh, I love those. I think
Combine
those are awesome.
You got
Yeah.
Sour Patch Kids. You got Sour
Oh,
Skittles.
stop it, Jake. Jake's a purist. Like, he has to have, like,
Absolutely.
like the basic Oreos, the basic Skittles, the basic, like, oh, God.
Basic.
But I-
Nothing wrong with that. Why are you hating on what I like?
I feel like there's like some automatic wins though, right? Like
Yeah.
anytime there's like a cereal competition or a cereal like tournament bracket or something,
Mhm.
and every time they're gonna be like, "Yo, we're gonna pick some surprise pick that's like some unknown brand company." They're like, "You know what? Cinnamon Toast Crunch."
Yeah,
Go.
Oh, yeah.
It wins again.
That's the best.
And you end
absolutely.
up just going with that one again. So and it's-
Absolutely.
There you
as they should.
Real quick, Robert Adams here. He's going to go to the movies. Any recommendations for him, guys? Other than what we
Cruella?
mentioned.
Cruella.
Those are
A Quiet
No, no,
Place is
uh,
nice,
Snacks
right?
or movies?
Snack movies. Snacks, not snacks.
Snack
Yeah.
movies? Movies about
Oh.
snacks?
Oh,
Movies about, yeah.
I was like, there's like 2 movies out. So,
So he
it's
needs
not
good
that
snack recommendations. I mean,
Yeah.
give me some of those theater nachos, man.
yes, that's what I was going to say.
Wow.
movie theater nachos is
Or pretzels.
or pretzels
The pretzel
for
bites.
snacks. Yeah,
That's what I like.
nachos. Definitely
fine.
movie theater nachos for me anyway. Oh, A
Mm.
Quiet Place too. Maybe not
I was gonna say.
nachos because those are not quiet. to eat.
Yeah, that would be terrible to
That's
watch during a
true.
quiet,
Ooh,
or
yeah.
terrible to eat
Yeah.
during a quiet place.
So
too.
maybe
That'd be
not the
awful.
nachos. Something definitely quiet, like licorice, red vines. Those are quiet.
Get an
Red
icy.
vines are
Go with
quiet.
an icy.
Oof.
There you
An
go.
icy.
Get an icy.
Have you guys seen A Quiet Place 2 yet?
No,
No,
I
I'm not.
haven't.
Did you guys saw A Quiet Place in theaters?
Oh,
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys remember that? Because I remember that, and I was
Oh,
like
yeah.
reaching for something. I was like, "Oh my
It's
god, I can't
dead
move.
quiet.
I
It-
can't.
Yeah.
I literally cannot move."
Can't
Yeah.
even move.
I saw
Yeah,
Cruella
something quiet.
yesterday, and I felt bad eating anything crunchy during a quiet scene. That whole movie's a quiet scene. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
crap. I'm skipping
Yeah.
food on this one.
Definitely a quiet snack. Quiet snack for a quiet place. 2.
Well, Ace, cannot thank you enough for stopping by and hanging out, man. It was really, really good to have you back on the show. And congrats on all the stuff that's been happening over the last couple months. Congrats on the channel as well. If you want to go ahead and plug yourself and
Yeah.
RB3 and Sabrina, what you guys got going on, you're more than welcome to right now.
Yeah, obviously, you can find us at First Cut, our YouTube channel. RB3 and Sabrina are my co-hosts on there, so you will know them from SEN as well. We did an Asian filmmakers discussion last week with Alex Marzonia.
Nice.
So you will also know him from SEN as well.
Yeah.
And we've also done reviews from Army of the Dead. We do our live streams Monday nights. So tomorrow night, we're going to be doing a live stream as well. And we're going to do a Fast and the Furious, like super, like epic podcast, like 8 hours long. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be like all the Fast and Furious movies to kind of get you prepped and ready for the new one coming out, Fast 9.
Wow.
So check us out there.
So, 2
Awesome.
things. One, how do you feel about the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park coming to Fast and Furious?
Damn, I might be. I might
keep
be
quiet on that one if you need to.
I might be the stickler and be like, can I just enjoy my Jurassic Park for being a metaphor for humans playing God and not a dinosaur fighting a car?
Yeah.
And then
I
my
agree.
second thing, you have probably the best named show, I will say, ever in Sabak the Block.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes.
Is the best name I've ever
It's
heard
so
for
good.
a show.
Thank you.
And so, yes.
I've
that's
gotten
it.
such confusions from that. People were like, Sabox, blocks, socks.
No.
And I was like, no, but sure, my bad for calling it that. But some people like it. Some people are like, this is confusing.
It
Weird.
works. It absolutely works.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, thank you again, Ace. Good luck in your upcoming match, and look forward to
Thank
having you
you.
back sometime in the future, man.
Absolutely, guys. Appreciate you guys. Obviously, shout out to Sean.
course.
Shout out to
Thank
Molly
you.
when she comes back. Let her know I said hi as well. So
yeah.
thank you guys. Bye, guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Abe.
you.
Bye. Have a good one.
Talk to you later. Enjoy the Suns game.
No, that was fun. I was
Please
glad. I'm
beat
glad
the
we were able to get
Lakers.
him on. Yeah.
Please
I'm glad we were able to get him on and talk to him a bit. And he's obviously got a really big match coming up, which is going to be great. It's kind of the heavyweight fight of the tournament, which is going to be very, very cool. So, but before our next guest does arrive, let's go ahead and shift into that exact match and talk about this, just because this was a big one. We obviously, for the last 2 weeks, have known that Mr. Mark Andreyko unfortunately had to make a sudden retirement and back out of the Schmoedown for the time being. Things happen. It's unfortunate. We're sad to see him not part of it for right now. But there's been this buildup for what's going to happen with the Odd Couple. Are they going to let the belts go? Are they going to find a sub player? And lo and behold, we found out that Jeannine the Machine was going to be joining Jeff Snyder in the title match up against Shazam. And actually, she did just pop in, so why don't we just bring her in? She is
Give
here.
her to me now. I need
Jeannine the
to see
Machine
this
is
beautiful
officially
woman.
with us back. And she
Hello.
is a part of the Odd
Yes.
Couple. Hey, what's up?
Hey guys, thanks for having
Jeannine.
me.
Of course. Thank you so
Oh.
much for I know you're not in town, so thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Yeah, of course. I'm in a 10-year-old's bedroom, so if little kids pop in here, just fair warning.
All good. All good. How is everything? Before we get to the Schmoedown stuff, how's everything going on in life?
Going pretty good. I've gotten a lot of love in the past few weeks, so that's felt really nice. And yeah, just life stuff is plugging away, going pretty good. So feeling good.
That's awesome.
Well deserved
That's awesome.
love, that's for sure.
Thank
Always.
you.
Jeannine always deserves love. Always, all the love to Jeannine, forever and always.
Thank you.
Of course.
Jill, I want to let you start this one off because I know you were very excited about this. You can start it off with any kind of question you want for her. What do you got?
First, I'm just going to start by standing up and applauding because God, girl, you are like you know me. I am Team Jeannine all the way, and I've told you this multiple times. I'm always Team Jeannine. I'm going to root for Jeannine no matter freaking what. And you are taking names and kicking butt right now. You are just freaking killing it. So just want to get that out of the way. You are
Thank you.
fantastic. You've always been fantastic, and I'm so freaking stoked for you. And so my question is, what went through your mind when you were approached to be Jeff Snyder's partner for the Odd Couple, the Otter Couple, whatever
The
you're
Otter
calling it?
Couple.
The
The
Otter
Otter
Couple,
Couple.
the more Odd Couple. So what,
Yeah, I think the
what
night
went through your
before we
mind?
decided on Otter Couple. I was a little terrified, a little intimidated, just because, it was a 5-round match. I'd never done that before. And this was kind of a huge deal. Like, if we had won this match, I would have had a belt. So, yeah, there was a lot of stress. But ultimately, I came to the decision that, I think fighting was better than just giving up the belts. So I had to just step up for my faction.
And girl, did you? Girl, did
I was
you
gonna say,
step up?
They didn't look like there were no nerves.
No.
That 5-round match was like nothing. Like you
No.
just murdered that 5-round.
You carried that game. That was your
Yeah,
game.
you did.
That was your game. Like I was watching it, and like even during your speed round, I was like, had you taken the other questions, I don't know. I don't think Jeff would have gotten Tarzan. I don't think he would have gotten that one.
Yeah, like, and that was what I was most nervous about. So we did run some drills on speed round in that style. And I think it was great practice for Jeff as well, because I think that's probably his weakest round in a championship match. And I don't think he would have studied it otherwise, but we were studying it for me because I was super nervous about it. So he was there studying it as well. So I think that definitely was a huge help for us going into that round. And it kind of eased a lot of my fears. Like, I think Jacoby wrote maybe like 60 to 80 questions that we could just run these drills through. So yeah, the stars are amazing, definitely.
Wow, yeah,
That's
y'all
awesome.
are killing it.
Well,
I wanted to
Stars
put
are-
Malcolm's comment up there for you, right there.
Oh, thank you.
So just kind of continuing about the match a little bit. So the second round was the one that I kind of want to talk about a little bit because, and we've seen, look, Snyder is a one-of-a-kind player. This guy is a one-of-a-kind player. But when we're watching this match, he's literally basically doing this.
He's chilling. He's like, Jeannine,
you're over
this is
here
your
just
spice.
like firing off answers, and he's like, "Yep, let's do it. Yep, you got it." Yep,
Well, going into this, he was like, if we get Cabrera, like, I can't help you. So I'm trusting you. Like, if you feel good about this, I'm trusting you 100%. So normally I think I would have felt really intimidated by that and really scared and pressured. But ultimately, having Jeff have that much faith in me just gave me that much more confidence to kind of go with it. And even when we were picking our wheel slices, he was like, let's just go with your two top things that you want to put on there. So Jeff was trusting me even then when we were deciding the wheel slices, just to put whatever I wanted on there because he was trusting me. So
that's awesome.
I mean, that alone from him, like, is to me like amazing. The fact that Jeff Snyder's a personality.
And it does take him a while to trust people as well. So
exactly. And so, I mean, he was just like, here you go. And I mean, it paid off clearly because I mean, it's funny because it also, in a way, was kind of like a strategy. Like, because it paid off, took a chance, rolled the dice, and it kept you guys fighting to the end because of it. So, I mean, it was kind of a little bit of a gangster move right there to just kind of play it like that. It was. I mean, it's first. I mean, not a lot of people, I think, in teams are going to say, just put your strengths on there. Like, I mean, it's considered a part. You're a part working together. But not only have you just joined him, you've never played with him. Probably haven't spoken to him lots and lots and lots of times since you've been on the team, and for you guys to just go, you know, we're going to do it this way. And I mean, it paid off hard, big time.
Yeah. And that's also something I was worried about. Like, how are we going to vibe? How's our chemistry going to be? Are we going to communicate well? I mean, obviously he's been in all our study sessions that he can make. And, you know, that's where we kind of talk there and we kind of figured those things out as well. But I was really surprised how we were able to kind of vibe in the match. I was just as shocked as everyone else. So
it's funny because to me, when I was watching it, it almost was like the most relaxed I've seen him in a very long time, comfortable wise. Like he was just like, like every round. Like, obviously there's nerves, like especially that freaking speed round. But I mean, he seemed very comfortable. Like, if you guys had been playing, and you too had been playing for a very long time.
Yeah. I was surprised how easily we fell into that. So definitely worked out.
Yeah.
So great.
We do have a couple super chats that have come through real quick. The first one is from the great Will Watson. The machine is a machine. Combine her machine arm with my wheelchair, and you got a transformer. You are a true talent and queen. Hashtag fan fave after show. That's a good one, Will.
Thanks,
that
Will.
is a good one. And then the next one here from Fool's Gill. Jeannine, are you interested in being a part of a multi-man team when Mark returns? Oddest couple. Interesting.
I don't know that they would let us do that, but I mean, if they'll allow
can you just
it.
like tag out? Can you tag out partners?
Right?
Like, I'll do it this time, you do it next time.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Well, I wanted to bring up the 5-pointer real quick because right before the question was asked, when you guys were given the category, Jeff yells into the camera. He goes, "Where's in Draco when you need him?"
Yes.
And then you get the question, and you're just like, "It's the Drakes.
Duh.
It's the Drake. Duh." Like,
Duh.
and you get, and that was the game plan we heard multiple times during your guys' sessions with Roxy inside the match. The game plan was to get to the 5-point, make them answer their 5-pointer. You got a 5-point that was in your wheelhouse. You saved the odd couple and made Shazam answer the question. How did that feel to kind of put the pressure on them in your first ever big five-round match?
Well, I mean, after, me and Jacoby had to fight our way through musicals on that opponent's choice against Deception, I mean, just hearing musicals just got me a little bit nervous because I'm like, oh gosh. It's like here or there with me for musicals. But when I heard Sound of Music, I'm like, okay, well, that's one of my favorite musicals. So now I'm feeling pretty good about it. But yeah, I was really proud that I was able to kind of figure that out for us and just get us there, because ultimately, I wanted to put up a fight. I wanted to at least fight and give us a chance rather than just giving up the belts. So I was really excited that I was able to kind of pull that off.
I want to talk about the fact that you guys are a brand new team, have never played together before ever, and your opponents played a literal perfect game, and they still had to answer their 5 times.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
that's
that
amazing.
is the most impressive thing, I think, for me, and this was literally what I was going to say right after Jill, was you had to play perfect to beat you guys.
Yeah,
and
they literally
a
had
brand
to play
new, unproven team.
Game.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, the Odd Couple was a team that has been playing for a while. They are known, and you guys got put together. I mean, within days,
last
weeks,
minute,
very last minute, yes.
And you guys had to make a team like Shazam play perfect to win the belts in teams, which is even more shocking. Like,
I don't know the stats, but I don't know if we've ever seen a team go.
Yeah, I want to say that was the first time that's happened.
Yeah.
There's no way.
First time it was a completely
There's
perfect
no way,
game.
because we would know something wild like that. Like, that seems like something you would know, especially for teams.
Yeah.
Star Wars, it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's funny because the match itself, right? It's not. I don't think it'll ever be talked about as like the greatest teams match or like one of the greatest teams matches, right? But as far as when you look at it on paper, in between the lines, and you look at how you performed and how the last minute decision to have you come in with Jeff, and then how Shazam had to play perfect to beat you guys, and kind of just it is. By all that, one of the greatest teams matches of all time because of everything around it, everything that kind of took place. I mean, it's very difficult.
Odds against you guys.
It's literally for the Odd Couple.
We were still just kind of like, can we, like, is this going to work? Well, we're going to try. So yeah, we were definitely as surprised, I think, as everyone else that it worked as well as it did. So,
I mean, it's like Bibb said, you're kind of on God tier right now. And
that's why I titled the show God tier. Like, you guys get my drift.
Yeah.
God tier.
Honestly, like, this year, it's just, for me, like, watching you, it's just kind of like you've just been, like, throwing the middle finger up and, like, I'm here. Like,
I feel like I'm finally being seen. Like, I've been working at this so hard for 4 years, and to finally get some recognition, for people to finally see what I've been killing myself for and putting into this in between, creating my own content and working full time, and all the traveling back and forth to make it to matches and all of that, like, to finally kind of get here has been really great. And I don't want to rest on 2 strong matches. I want to keep working. I want to keep getting better. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Yes.
I mean, it's paying off, and we saw it when you played Marisol a few weeks ago. Your first ever perfect round.
Yes.
You are playing, and I and you can confirm or deny, but it seems like you are playing your best Schmoedown ever.
Yes, that is 100% true.
And that's awesome. I think I honestly want to say that it feels like you're on a team and a spot with people that you have just done this with, and it's just like on top of like your already like determination, it's just elevated it. to another level.
Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence that I'm playing as good as I am now that I'm with the Stars. I think with other managers, like this is my third manager. While I did get the support, even in The Usual Suspects, I did get more of that kind of study help that I was looking for. But we didn't feel like a complete faction, a unit. We weren't communicating all the time. We weren't working together. We weren't doing like regular study sessions. Roxy really has taken the time to get to know me as a competitor. So she's not telling me just kind of generic positive things that she would tell any player. She's telling things she knows I personally need to hear in moments that I need to hear them to push me to where I need to go. So the fact that she's taken time to get to know me and push me and support me as me and not any other competitor, she's done that for all the Stars. So I think that's definitely made the difference for me.
Yeah, we've heard for a long time that Roxy is the perfect players manager. We've seen it on screen. It clearly seems to be working behind the scenes. And it's creating incredible results. I do want to bring up this comment because this is just perfect. Chuck, SS God Jeannine. There you go. That's great.
Thank you.
That's great. Jill, did you have anything else?
Yeah, so you're just kicking this season into full gear. Who are you having your eye on competing against next in your Schmoedown teams, singles? Who do you got your eye on?
Well, I still don't know at this point, like what the team situation looks like. It's definitely something we're talking about because I absolutely loved playing with Jacoby. And I feel like Blackjack, like we really scraped and fought, and that's like definitely a vibe of somebody I want to continue to play with. But the fact that me and Jeff worked so well is so weirdly awesome. That,
you were a question away from being a champion.
Yeah. So definitely just really something that we got to talk about as a faction. So I really don't even know what teams looks like for me at this point. But yeah, I'd love to take on Marisol again.
Yes.
At some point,
please.
if Mike decides to, take on singles again, I would love to play Mike for a third time. Because he's been out of singles for a minute. So I think that would be fun.
That would be fun. Sign me up.
I'd also love to play Video Drew because I like that team's match against her.
It was so fun.
It was so fun. It was the most fun I've ever had playing a match. And I would just love that chill, fun, ridiculous vibe where she's just like, thinks I'm a robot. And I love that.
It was so good. It was
I need that in person or at a live event. If it's a live event, I'll lose my mind because that would be so fun.
Drew has been playing like the best she's ever played as well. This season.
Absolutely.
So definitely think it would be a good matchup.
I want to know from you. I mean, you are one of many like women that have been around. You're not new to the scene. How does it feel seeing just the evolution of the movie trivia Schmoedown with just these women that keep coming in and are just making it like an absolute like bloodbath, like with you coming in like and just destroying people in your path. And then you have Marisol, who's like just insanely accurate. Video Drew seems to be on another level this year. It's just like it's incredible. Like honestly, this kind of feels it feels like this is kind of like the year of the female players.
Yeah, I'm so proud of the ladies of this league and to be a part of that, and that there are more of us and we're really showing up. We can be cocky and confident without, lollipops and ridiculously large whiteboards. We don't need any of that. Like we just got our natural sass and attitude. And, that's why I'm like so excited for women in the league, because all this testosterone is a little exhausting. But
yes.
Like I talked about in my match, Marisol came up to me in New York. I believe it was the Jeff and Paul match that New York. And she came up to me in a bar and just said, how much me and Brienne meant to her in the league. And she really wanted to play. And, I talked to her about the fan leagues and how she should join them. And now here we are. She's kicking my butt and doing amazing in this game. So definitely just really proud to be a lady in this game and to see what the ladies are doing this season for sure.
Yeah.
It's just so inspiring, and y'all are killing it. Absolutely killing it.
We did get one quick Streamlabs here from the great Brandon Buckingham, and he said it's insane that the Mercs have 2 5-round perfect matches with Shazam and Demilanta in 1 year. Major props to Koi. Yeah.
They stole all our belts. but
it's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's amazing because almost every single 2 out of those 3, their teams have had to play perfect against you guys to take those belts. And it's kind of established almost like this, not a heated rivalry between you guys, because for the most part, like those 2 teams, like you guys are all like the fun people, sassy when you want to be, but like it's kind of created like a thing between you guys that, I mean, I'm not opposed to seeing more of.
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing amazing, so they definitely deserve that. But we are fighters in the stars, and we definitely gave them that, and we will give them that again.
Yes. Yes.
Jill, Brian, did you guys have anything else for Miss Jeannine?
Just that I love and miss you, and I hope I get to see you like very, very soon, because we need to hang out. Soon,
definitely.
Yes. Now that things are going back to normal, I need Jeannine back in my life.
Yes, most definitely.
I just want to know where I need to sign the petition to get you in some live event, because I feel like the confidence that you have right now and the entrances that you make when you come in.
I miss entrances. I'm having withdrawals.
Like, oh man. Like, also, not going to be opposed to seeing an entrance of Jeannine and Jeff. That
would be interesting.
Interesting.
That would definitely be a fun one to put together.
So, but I mean, honestly, I don't have any more questions, but you're just so fun to watch, especially this year. And I mean, it just goes to show like how you have made a name for yourself, that, and it sounds bad coming out, but you haven't won, but you've made it so known that like she deserves to be here. She's going to whoop your ass if you're not ready. And it's just, all the praise to you.
Oh, thank you.
You've been honestly one of the most fun people to watch the last couple of weeks.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And to note on the whole Otter couple situation, Christian did say on the stream that if they do decide to move forward as a team, your record would be 0-0. And this would not go against you, which is really cool. And yes, if you guys do stay together, everyone should clearly look out. So we do have our classic channel question here for you, because movies do bring us together as a group, as a community, and we want to ask you, if you have them, what are your favorite candy and your favorite movie snack?
Ooh,
I've seen your wall on TikTok and stuff. I don't know if you're gonna be able to pick one. I've seen that.
My favorite candy, I'm kind of obsessed with sour worms right now, like really obsessed. And favorite movie candy has got to be Sour Patch Kids, always.
So the Sour Patch Kids or like just like the watermelon Sour Patch Kids?
No,
those ones are my favorite.
The original Sour Patch Kids. The originals? They actually have tropical ones that are pretty good, but the original.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds so good.
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't tried those yet.
Yeah, they're good.
Love it.
There was a question, and I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but I don't know. So someone had asked. They said, "So Jeannine, are you the reason that Snyder kept his shirt on?"
Probably. I would hope so. He was just trying to be a gentleman for me. So if that's the case, you're welcome.
I love that video Drew bullied him into calling you the other night. That was the best.
Yeah. And then he texted me. He didn't even call me.
Oh my God.
And then she called him out on it, and then he came on our street.
Yeah.
Well, before we let you go, we know, and I don't know if everybody else does know watching, but you have a Schmoedown podcast that you do. You're a part of this community that we do, and if you would like, we give you the room to promote anything that you would like to.
Plug all your stuff.
Awesome. You can find me. Yes. You can find me at Jeannine_Devine_ on Twitter and Jeannine Devine on Instagram. And check out the It's a Wonderful podcast feed. We have 3 shows over there every Monday. Of course, it's Machine Mondays with me, Jeannine the Machine, talking all things Schmoedown. And I do actually have a very special guest on tomorrow's episode. Roxy Stryer is breaking down the Marisol match and this Snyder match with me tomorrow, getting into all of that. Every Wednesday, we have Morgan Hasn't Seen, where I force my co-host Morgan to watch things he hasn't seen. Right now, we are doing dark teen comedy, so we'll be talking Heathers this week. And then Friday, of course, we have the main show, It's a Wonderful Podcast, where we talk classic films. So find the It's a Wonderful Podcast feed, all places podcasts can be found.
Nice.
And where can everyone buy your art?
Yes.
My TeePublic shop at Jeannine Design on teepublic.com.
Mm-hmm.
That Video Drew logo is
So good.
So good.
Thank you.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, Jeannine, thank you so much for stopping by, hanging out.
Thank you for having me.
So happy to have you on. And congrats on everything that's happened over the last couple weeks. And we can't wait to see what the rest of 21 brings you. Singles tournament, team stuff, if it does happen.
She gotta
super
step in and
excited.
start rolling Star Wars in a minute.
I know.
Maybe. Hey guys, thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you again.
Jeannine.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Love
that was awesome. That was awesome.
It's just
really glad.
It's just so nice, like when people that have just been a staple are finally like getting what they deserve. And like
Yes.
she has just been so instrumental to the Schmoedown as other people, and it's like finally like the recognition she deserves is being bestowed upon her.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Well,
deserves-
she
speaking
did
of,
it all herself.
She
too.
deserves nothing but the most amazing things coming her way. She's the best, and I'm so stoked for her.
Speaking of the the stones that she has pretty much laid for a lot of this league, specifically when it comes to women, next Sunday, ladies and
That
gentlemen,
plug though, pew pew.
There's the plug. Was waiting.
next Sunday it is happening. Ladies Appreciation Night is back.
Pew, pew, pew.
It is back. We have an incredible guest list of women who are not just competing in the league, not just managing the league, but also behind the scenes in the league. They are going to be with us next Sunday. 6 o'clock Pacific, right here. Our main show will be subbed out 4 o'clock Pacific, not 6 o'clock. 4 o'clock Pacific next Sunday. Our main show will be subbed in for Ladies Appreciation Night, and we're going to be talking with all of the women of the Schmoedown. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be incredible. Brian Nussbaum, we will try to ask our POV question on the stream. Don't know if that'll actually happen because that might take up a lot of room. But each day this week, we will release a group of guests. So you'll see that on our Twitter feed. If you go there, so tomorrow Group 1 will be announced, then Group 2, et cetera, all the way through Friday. And it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a really, really good time. Really looking forward to it. Second version of Ladies Appreciation Night. So super, super excited.
This time with more time to plan instead of like 6 days.
Exactly. All right, so let's quickly get into this Danger Zone corruption match because this was a crazy match to talk about or to watch. Excuse me. And we're going to talk about it right now. Corruption walks away with the victory, and even though it was a solid match in the third round, it did somewhat come in much easier fashion than we were expecting. Danger Zone had a little trouble. They had a little bit of trouble. And it started in the very first round. They were down by 5 points after the first round to Corruption. Mike and Chance looked better than ever. They looked fantastic. Some stumbles from both Ben Bateman and Mr. Dan Murrell. Jill, I'll let you start this one off. Kind of just thoughts about this one. Your expectations going in and kind of how it all turned out. What'd you think?
Talk about Chance's perfect round 1, though. Goodness gracious.
True
story. Get it, Cobra. No, this was like, obviously, y'all know I'm going to root Corruption, but this was kind of a surprise to me seeing, the super team, as people have dubbed them, struggle a bit. And I think they'll be the first to admit that they struggled a bit in that round 1. So it's very interesting to watch that. And then they used all of their JTEs in round 1.
That's right. I was about to pull this up. Yeah, right there.
Which not that Dan and Ben really need JTEs for their round 3, just because they're usually like boom, boom, boom. But seeing them use all of it in round 1 was kind of shocking. And then I think this is the first time in about 5 matches we've seen Dan miss a round 1 question.
Yeah.
So it's
been a while.
It was interesting, and it was like, whoa. But then on the flip side, Chance gets a perfect round 1. You know, so it's just that case of sometimes you're just gonna get questions that you don't know. Sometimes you're gonna know every single one. But oh man, I am stoked for Corruption, because going in and playing a quote unquote super team, like you're gonna go in there like it's clearly you're gonna have to fight, and they fought and they took the W. And I also just want to give a little shout out to that dungeon promo, because seeing Kevin and Mara in that promo,
Yep.
Kevin come back for that 2.5 seconds in his hoodie.
I love how he's like all hyped up and he's like,
Really?
oh, yeah, let's go. And he gets
He's like,
pushed out of the
"Let's
frame.
go." I think that just set the hype and the excitement for that match, just seeing Kevin for that brief moment, but
Absolutely.
it was lovely.
Brian, before your thoughts, this is a very interesting stat here. Oh, not that one. This one. Corruption is 4-1 against Dan Merle teams.
Wow.
Holy schmoly.
Wow.
I did not know that.
I did not know that. Brian, thank you for the fact on this one. That is insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That is a fact to be known.
That's-
So I'm glad that he pulled that up. Yeah, dude. Corruption doesn't look like they have missed a beat. A freaking beat. Like it was wild seeing how laser focused they were in there. Like that was one of those matches where it looked like you could throw whatever and they weren't going to lose. Like they looked destined to win that match. And I actually picked Danger Zone. For me to see that, and I was like, holy moly. Like, and Mike was not writing off Chance like people have said. He was just as much of a key part to that victory as Chance was.
Well, and the biggest to what you're saying, Brian, is Chance in round 2 said, Mike, let's go with what you feel comfortable with. They went with comic book movies. And it just worked out. Like, obviously, Mike's going to take the lead, but they worked together very well. And they clearly didn't miss a beat. Obviously, the two of them are some of the closest in this entire Schmoedown community, right? Chance and Mike have been together since Chance entered the league. I don't see them ever not being together as a team. You know, it'll be very weird when that day comes, but they clearly know each other's strengths, know each other's weaknesses, know when to pull this punch or pull that punch. The 5-pointer at the end of the match for them, the death proof question, was incredible to watch them kind of talk about it and think about it, and kind of that when the light bulb went off for both of them, they just said, look, we both thought this, let's just ride with it. Ended up getting it, and they put Danger Zone away, and it was crazy to see Danger Zone struggle like they did. And it's funny because they didn't have the easiest path, obviously, right? They should have lost to Deception, or excuse me, was it Deception? Yeah, it was Deception. They should have lost to Deception because they struggled in that tournament. They did. They struggled in that tournament. And so they weren't all clean and everything going into this match. Corruption is one of the top tier teams. They're one of the top tier teams. And it was a fact of someone playing really, really good in Corruption and Danger Zone playing really just kind of average, right? Ben Bateman in the first round struggled. And I know the fact said that they both got 5 points, but Ben was missing questions that he usually does not miss. It was very odd to see, but give credit where credit is due. Corruption goes in.
The questions were challenging, but not out of the wheelhouse that these
not at all.
should be getting. And I mean, like they were absolutely right. It was absolutely challenging questions that these 4 competitors can get, especially like these guys aren't your new rookies. First time playing, you're like, holy crap, like we're starting here. Like these are some of the most seasoned players in the Schmoedown, and especially the teams division. So I loved it. It was a gladiator match from from the get-go. And, Corruption came out swinging, and they swung harder, and they won. So I'm very curious to see how they play against Shazam now.
It's going to be very interesting, yes, but it's been a Corruption month. The amount of points that they have gotten this month, Mike has gotten a chunk of them, obviously from the IG title match from Friday. Also, Marisol has gotten a bunch. She has a big match upcoming up against Kevin Smith. Chance will also be playing Robert Parker very soon in an IG match. And then the eventual title shot that Mike will be defending at Collision this summer, which could end up being against Chance. And there's more points for Corruption.
Another Corruption invitational, you say?
Look, the amount of chances they have for points in the next month or so are insane. They have set themselves up, and it's funny.
And Adam Singles could be in the singles tournament.
So many people have talked about, like,
And
oh my God, is Corruption going to be able to, come back from their slow start again? Right? Are they going to be able to do what they did last year? It's in motion. It is in motion what they are doing. Mike, Chance, Marisol, Adam, even some of their lower players as well on the roster are doing what they need to do to help their faction, to put them in good positions going forward. Adam Collins is going to be in the singles tournament, everybody. That's not something you want.
Marisol could be on the steps of a belt very soon.
Yes.
Well, she wins in her next match. She's in a title shot.
I know.
It's
wild.
Don't give Corruption these chances, everybody. Come on.
Keep giving it.
Jake.
No, keep bringing it.
Come on.
Not only for my household, but for my fantasy standings. Thank you, please.
Oh,
Yeah, let's not talk about that. The amount of points that Jill has collected over the last 2 weeks is effing nuts.
Thanks, Corruption.
I've never seen Jake so bitter than to see Jill keep climbing.
Well, because she took them from me on Friday, and she also took them from me last Friday, which just puts me in a bad mood.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, we'll see the fantasy standings next week. I post them every 2 weeks or so. But so Corruption now moves forward to play Shazam, who ended up winning the belts. And as we were talking about with Jimmy, we didn't talk about Shazam too much, so we can spend very, very quickly here before we wrap up. Congrats to Shazam. I mean, Bibiani the kid, they played perfect. We talk about it. They are one of the best teams that this Schmoedown has ever seen. The way they work together, their knowledge and how it kind of works off each other. Absolutely brilliant. Congrats to them, and I cannot wait to see a Shazam Corruption rematch. It's going to be incredible.
First 5 round perfect game goes to Shazam, and I'm not at all surprised that they were the first team to do that because they are scary good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, what more is to say about the Mercs or Shazam specifically?
And the Mercs.
Yeah. So, yeah, we know what to expect from them. There's a level of greatness that they are at, and they just consistently stay at. So,
real quick before we get out of here, the Horowitz Hauser match, because it was released late. I personally have not been able to see it yet. So
I have.
I saw it.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Good to know.
It's a fun one.
Loved it.
Okay.
These people are belt worthy.
Yeah, it was a fun one.
Scary.
Okay.
Because you would think, celebrity match. Oh no.
Oh, we lost Jill.
So
she doesn't have a computer battery, so she bye-bye.
But I mean, we're wrapping it up anyways. Jake hasn't seen it. Impressed beyond belief of that match. And Jake, you're gonna see it and go, oh, okay. It was a fantastic match.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Brian, to answer your question here, more than likely Collision, because it's the winner. It was the number one contender match that was from the team's tournament. So it was Danger Zone up against Corruption, who was waiting the number one contender match. Now up against the current champions. They're not going to have a match in the next. I would imagine anyway. They're not going to have a match in June because Collision's the beginning of July. It would be a very quick turnaround, and you don't have another team waiting for a number one contender match. So it'll more than likely be at Collision. They're setting all of the belt matches up for Collision. IG, teams, singles, it's all going to be there at Collision. The Marisol Kevin Smith match, which is going to happen in middle of June, that winner will play for the singles belt at Collision. They're all going to have belt matches at Collision. It's a mini spectacular, essentially, is what they're aiming for. But yeah, and I know. I will watch that Horowitz Hauser match.
You're gonna love it. It was,
okay.
And it was not. And I think the chat would agree with me. These were not softball questions. I was sitting there going, "Holy crap!" Like I'm barely getting some of these. It was impressive. It was a very impressive showing for both of them.
Amaru, same. We'll see a lot this month. The schedule for June has yet to be released. We will definitely see a lot of it.
Great.
Okay, Brian. Thank you. It is Collision. Thank you. I appreciate that. So it is Collision.
Okay.
I thought the singles belt was going to be a Collision. So that is Collision, which is fair. Yes, you guys are all correcting me. Thank you very much. And then to what Brian had mentioned also about the FCL stuff, we will bring it up real quick and just make a quick prediction. This is the upcoming match this Tuesday. We're officially seeing Maxwell Haddad make his premiere in the FCL up against Daggers. And Chris Adams is making his debut as well against Miss Jordan. Quickly, Brian, we'll make a quick predictions. I think it's simple. I'm going with the two that I know.
My friends. Sorry.
I'm going to go with the two that I know. It's Maxwell and Chris. Chris. So
we're going to obviously pick the people we talk to and our friends with.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, and I'm pretty sure Molly and Jill would say the exact same thing. So,
yeah. And we'll be the FCL stuff on the show will be coming back. It will be coming back. We've had a lot going on in May. Some of the FCL uploads as far as YouTube stuff has been tough, so we haven't been able to catch every single match because some of us are busy on Twitch stuff when that happens. So we will be coming back. So look out for that. We'll make sure to cover this match in a few weeks because we do have Ladies Appreciation Night next week, and we have yet to see the schedule for this upcoming week. And so we'll make our predictions on our reactions. There is a pay-per-view on Friday, so we will not have a reaction on Friday. You will see us Wednesday and Thursday, and then back again on Sunday for Ladies Appreciation Night. For those of you who may be interested, guys, check out our Patreon. Tomorrow, we are doing a Twister watch-along. We are watching Twister with our patrons. It's going to be a blast. It was Molly's pick for her birthday month. We're going to hang out, watch a movie.
The reign of Molly's month is finally coming to an end.
I know. It's going to be a lot of fun. And yes, Brian Nussbaum, we will definitely be talking about free agency if stuff does happen with free agencies, because I have a feeling that there are going to be some twists and turns.
I mean, there's an empty spot on the Stars roster right now. So
yes, there in fact is. All right, Brian, before we get out of here, why don't you plug some stuff, man, before we head out? What do you got?
I'm at Biavalsino on Twitter. I almost said on Twister. And you can find me on Apocalypse Movies. What's our show for Tuesday? Newsday?
We are doing a Zack Snyder episode.
Oh, God help us.
We are ranking Zack Snyder films on Apocalypse on Tuesday and talking about Army of the Dead. So if you want to join us there, you can also find me there. You can find me on socials at Qui-Gon Jake, 2 N's because someone else took it before I did. The Schmoedown POV, Twitter, Streamlabs, Patreon, here multiple times a week. And Ryan Kramer, thank you so much. Oh, there you go. There's Jill. Bye. I'm so sorry.
Do we know Molly and Jill's stuff to plug them?
Jill on Twitter is Jilly Marie, 2 Y's, 2 E's. Molly is at Molly Damon, Star Wars Explained all the time, and at Molly Mander on Instagram, and then on Twitch occasionally. There you go. Boom. Plug away.
Sometimes they know that they're on it, and sometimes they don't.
I do want to bring this up real quick because this is really good to remember. Ryan Kramer, thank you. This is correct. Dan will be playing the winner of one of these 4 gentlemen, Bateman versus Roca, Oyama versus Irwin, which will all premiere in June, and we will see that match at Collision, plus the number 1 contenders match between Marisol and Kevin Smith, which then that winner will play the winner of this singles match. There's a lot going on. So there you go. And yes, you're welcome, Joe.
June is going to be wild.
And you're going to see it all right here on A Certain Point of View. Again, everybody watching, thank you guys so much for joining us every single Sunday. Again, light it up this week. Ladies Appreciation Night is happening on Sunday. Very excited. It's going to be a 4-hour stream starting at 4 o'clock Pacific with 25 plus women coming in, hanging out, and talking to us. It's going to be awesome. And make sure you're checking out all of our stuff all over Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff. Patreon. Thank you. Big shout out to both Andres Cabrera and Jeannine the Machine for stopping by and hanging out with us. Cannot thank them enough. And of course, all of our fans. Thank you guys so much. We love you guys. Thank you for being here every single day. And we will catch you guys next time.